Alright, we're at a rock. Alright, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another broadcast of Talking That Talk podcast. I go by the name of King Exodus, aka X.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Juice, aka No Ordinary Brother, aka Rising Pharaoh.
Alright. As always, if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, and shouts out to everybody that's already locked in. So tonight's conversation, we're going to talk about something that's kind of, I think, relatable. We're going to talk about the center of attention. The person that craves attention more than anything else. The person that got to be all eyes on them at all times. We're going to talk about all these kind of scenarios in tonight's episode. Kind of kicking it off, I would just go back to, I like American Gangster. And within the movie, Denzel said a powerful thing. Sometimes the loudest person in the room is the weakest person in the room. And he was speaking in particular to his brother about, people that dress loud and do all these other kind of things. Not to say everybody with style, everybody that like to stand out is automatically negative. Not to be extreme with it, but the concept to me was saying people that crave attention, some kind of way try to cover up some type of inconsistency or problem within themselves, maybe as far as self-esteem. But you do have a few rare exceptions to the rule. You do have vibrant people. You do have people that stand out. You do have people with character, energy, charisma. We're not talking about that. Tonight, I would keep more so in on the people that take the shit too far. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess that's my little introduction to the center of attention.
Okay. It's my introduction to the center of attention. Niggas that always need attention. People don't always just need that, bro. You don't need all that attention. I never understood why people needed so much attention regardless of the situation, right? Let's say like there's an emergency going on, people still feel like the eyes should be on them. And that used to like freak me out at one point. I was like, yo, what if somebody like actually died and they still was craving attention that much? Yeah, I don't understand, like some people crave attention to a point, it's like taking oxygen, right? It's like a breath of fresh air to them when they have the attention on them. I believe this could be a positive thing as well as a negative thing, right? It's negative when the attention is on somebody important or somebody has done something significant, but you still feel the lack or the need to draw attention towards yourself, right? That's just like, I don't know, even on like if y'all would ever win like third wheeling dates, right? Let's say you the one who rocked the date and your friend just came along, or the person that the dude was trying to bring along with them was out there. You feel like, all right, look, I need both y'all's attention now. Not even your date's attention. You need both attention. And it's situations like that that kind of like move me like in a weird way, because I feel like whoever's focused on you, you should be able to focus on them. But then again, I also understand some people, like I said, if you don't put attention on them, it's like you're taking something away from them that's very valuable, right? That's why it's to a point where people try to engage in relationships and they feel like, hey, you're going to be taken away, they're going to do something extravagant or abnormal to make sure you can still stay with them, right? That's why they say when women get in relationships, some of the other girlfriends try to pull them back because they're no longer getting that same attention. Like it's all, even with homeboys when it comes to success. So that's just like my little brief statement right there for a second.
All right, so just simply picking up on that success factor, sometimes that mentality destroys people's success, especially when they're working with other people in group settings. You know what I'm saying? The person that needs the most attention sometimes can destroy the whole group. You look at a lot of rap groups, R&B groups, a lot of that shit got destroyed behind attention.
Ego.
People want to compete amongst each other, which turns into sometimes jealousy and hate, envy, and then that transmutates into a higher negative power. You know what I'm saying? And you have some people that want to compete to do it in a proper way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at, it's a lot of basketball players that's like, look, I use my hatred and my anger to make me practice harder. And then on the flip side, you have people that allow that shit to overcome them so much. They get overwhelmed to where they can't control that energy, and then it transmutates into something way more negative. So you look at Nipsey Hussle, you find out, you know what I'm saying, somebody from his own community killed him. You look at Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying, black man had parts in his demise. You give me a lot of black leaders that were great, and we can some kind of way find a lot of black people that has something to do with their demise. So you have to be careful of your ego. Everybody's not meant to be number one,
right?
2 or 3. You have hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? But if you in a strong group or a strong setting or a strong hierarchy, you still are successful where you are. Everybody not gonna fit the same role. You know what I'm saying? So I think that whole I have to be number one mentality or I have to be the leader mentality sometimes is a downfall within the whole mentality of what we're talking about.
Right. So I'm just gonna make a statement real quick. They came to see David Ruffins. They came to see the Temptations. Anybody came to see you, Otis. That was one of the examples what happens in groups of music where one person has the group mentality. And the other person's like, this group would be nothing without me. This group would be nothing without me.
That, you know what I'm saying?
It's there, right? You had that happen in NSYNC. You know, Justin Timberlake. You know what I'm saying? Or was that Backstreet? No, Backstreet Boy. He's part of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's my boy JT. They was trying to pull him to the side the whole time. Like, nah, I'm with the group before he branched off and became who he is, right? You have people who are in groups, like they already try to pick apart them real quick. Like, you know what, you probably be good solo. Hey, you know what, they probably need you more than you need them. So, besides being the center of attention, that outside influence is very impactful. All right, you got to be careful who you let in. That's gonna try to manipulate everybody and pick them apart, right? You had certain groups where you couldn't separate them worth shit because they were that solid with each other. They wouldn't allow another person from the outside to step into the situation and try to put something in their ear, right? You had SOBRBE, man. That's a group out of Cali, and for the longest they were already they're a young group, man. They got some young guys in their 20s, man, and they were rocking solid. Then all of a sudden they fell out. They just fell out like within last year of the pandemic. And before, they said even when they started, they were already trying to separate them. And that's another thing is, like I said, you gotta protect the group. You gotta protect the hive cluster. That's a little StarCraft right there for all my gamers. So I'll ask you this, right? Before I ask you, he made a great statement when he said, look, when you're in a hierarchy, you're in a great position to win regardless, right? You have a person who's a well spokesman. You have somebody who likes to be behind the scene. You have a person that may organize. You might have a person who does this, right? But there might be one that's charismatic in somewhat way of form, right? If he can bring business or people to y'all, that's, from a standpoint, I'm looking at we all winning. Right? But it's some people are like, man, he always getting attention and stuff, right? Crazy enough, right? Let's say we all go out as homeboys, right? We all in a group. Dudes will start getting jealous and like, man, why every time we go out, he gonna get the attention, man? Like we just need to go. Like they'll try to start excluding people just so they can get the attention, when they go places. I ain't never been like that. I always enjoyed the fact, like, hey, look, if my brother gets this much attention, I need to see what I can get it. Like what type of wave or pattern are we on? But regardless, even if the person does look better than the other individual, you might have better conversation. You might be funny. Like I feel like people don't actually focus on their skills or what they're good at because they're too busy trying to outshine another person.
Bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to groups. You and the Jackson 5.
Man.
When they grown, you feel me?
Oh, man.
Michael is becoming Michael.
You can't say that.
You have Michael pussy and Tito pussy. If you think Tito gonna fuck up what he getting from just being in connection with Michael, you're crazy. But it's levels to it. You know what I'm saying?
You really did that.
Yeah,
You really did that. You really.
You give me your top artists, whatever. They still have a crew, a group. You look at Tupac. You got shit, Tupac attractions. But then you think the Outlaw's not gonna get none either?
Man,
You think the producer, the DJ, the nigga in the back, the entourage, you know what I'm saying?
What 50 say? Give me that groupie love.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Even though you might not be getting what you think you should be getting or not, you're still getting something out of the equation of hierarchy. And that's just on the lowest level. You have some people, they go to school, they look at the cool kid, and they try to be the cool kid's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got some people that's like, I'm just gonna hate on him. I'm not gonna fuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
But some kind of way the people with the cool kid are winning because they're in connection with the cool kid.
Right.
They understand networking.
Mm-hmm.
See, networking, you're not always gonna be at the top.
Right.
But as long as you're in the chain, now you're linked to success.
Yeah, I hear that, the chain.
Fashion.
Look at this boy,
You know
man.
what I'm
Look at that, man. Look at that, man. Y'all, I don't think y'all understand that, right? Because, like, one of the main things you can see, like, one of the hardest points in your life is actually with school. You know who the cool kids was, who's the... Like, see, that's another thing about center of attention. Everybody got attention for what they was good at. The person was good at being cool. He got the attention. If the person was a badass, he still got attention. Like, everybody had their own niche on why they get the attention they want. It only came to competition in sports, really. Sports or anything like that's the only time the center of attention really was there to see who was going to get it. Other than that, you're going to create that through who you are individually and stuff, right? So I'll ask you right now, what can a person do to raise awareness within themselves if they're looking to gain attention versus using it for their own purposes, right? Like I said, there's positives and negatives to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. One more time. Ask the question again.
Okay, so the question is, what can a person do to raise awareness within them so they can gain attention?
Mm-hmm.
But give me the positives and the negative way they would do it.
To me, it depends on why the person wants the attention and how much do they focus on it. You have some people, like your great, you know what I'm saying, some of your great cerebral athletes, they never once said, I wanted to gain the attention of the crowd a lot of times. They was just like, look, I wanted to go out there and be number one in my craft. I wanted to be the best so that when I got on that court, that stage, that whatever, that field, whatever, I surpassed my competition. I brought home the Lombardi, the trophy, the championship. I don't hear too many of them say, I want the crowd to scream my name. But there are some people that say, hey, look, my biggest dream was to go out on that court and hear my name.
Right.
So they go back to, like, it really just, to me, depends on the competitive level of the person and why they want the attention. Some people can want the attention to be like...
For validation.
For validation. And then some people want it to tickle their ego. Mm-hmm. And then some people like, look, I want the attention because I want to attract people to, you know what I'm saying, a higher level. You look at people like Muhammad Ali. What he did with his attention was he showed people an image of a positive black man.
Boom. Let's go.
He brought people into the Islamic faith. You can't argue that. But his attention was used for a positive thing.
There you go.
You feel me? So it really just depends on what you want to use the attention for. You have some people that do both. You know what I'm saying? You got some people like Tupac. Some people caught the revolutionary vibe. Some people caught the thug vibe. You know what I'm saying? So it really just depends on, to me, the ambition of the person and like what do they want to do with the attention.
See, I like what you said right there. I'm gonna let you finish, but what I'm gonna do is make a comment. Those were all positive intentions, right? So I'm gonna give you a negative intention that people do. One negative thing they can do is self-sabotage themselves just for the attention, right? People will hurt themselves just for some attention. I advise nobody to go through a period where you gotta hurt yourself in order to gain attention from other people. That's definitely not positive at all. And also, people will start gossiping, rumors, or try to sabotage another individual for attention as well. That's why, like, when people talk about being the center of attention, you always got to look at what are they doing at the same time to create the attention, right? You have, like I said, if we're always in a group, like I said, if we're in a group of 5 individuals, you're going to know why some speak out more than others, or how to sway the conversations into their liking that the others can follow. Like, conversations we have is more open and general, but if a person wants to feel empowered and feel it's always swayed to their liking, you know what I'm saying? Like, put it like this, anything we talk about, let's say, me and X, we have, like I said, we have times we clash, we also have a lot of times we agree. But if it's open and broad and general, we give you the positive and negative. It's always that one person like, nah, this is how it's gonna go, this is how it's gonna be, and you know, and then everybody, like, the whole energy within the crowd starts getting sucked out. So you gotta watch for energy drainers and vampires that want the attention. We call them vampires. They will drain your energy off for attention. So.
Right. Yeah. So most definitely, and I think an area that this kind of goes back to is like childhood. You had a lot of different kind of children. You had some children that would cry for no reason, just to get attention. You know what I'm saying?
Fake cry, no tears came out.
They're just addicted to the attention. And then you had some kids that sat in the corner for no reason. You know what I'm saying? They was withdrawn. So I think a lot of times, man, sometimes people could crave attention too much to where it becomes toxic. And then some people don't crave enough attention, and that also becomes toxic because they could be like sometimes too much of a loner to where they can become negative.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, that's definitely
yeah. So then that's why I could shine a little light on attention, because it's like, to me, it's practice sometimes. Like, if you step into a room just for practice, probably see what you can attract out of that room. Like, what kind of energy can you bring into the room? What kind of energy can you receive, feel, and all these kind of things? That works to your networking skills, to me. Communication, you know what I'm saying, being sociable. So that's why I brought up that analogy. Sometimes attention can be a powerful thing, not out of, you know what I'm saying, you could be charismatic and all that shit and conquer the world, but sometimes you could just get put in the right situations at the right time, because you know how to gain the correct attention in a room. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You see a lot of movies where, you know what I'm saying, a person go in a room and they nail it. They don't try too hard, they don't try too less, but some kind of way people are just drawn to them. They can dance with the prettiest woman in the room. You know what I'm saying? People is looking at them. Some people just have a magnetic gravitational pull to their aura and their character. And I think that's when attention can be positive. It's when you can use that energy to bring the right energy to you. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Also, there's power in marketing on how you gain attention as well, right? That's why I always say, well, I always said this when I was younger. Say it today, I say I'm the product and the service. People buy me. It's all about what am I doing out there to gain your attention, to make you want to trust and buy into what I do. So one of the things about, being the center of attention we have to also look at is, are you willing to share the attention, right? It's crazy sometimes. Let's say somebody who can help benefit the whole group or know certain information within a company. Are you willing to share the attention, right? That's where you have some of the greatest moments that happen with individuals, when somebody actually gives them a chance to shine. All right, like I said, the person that's behind the scenes always navigating. It's like, oh, okay, look, it's time for you to actually step out into the light. You have a lot of musicians like that, right? They wrote for some of y'all top artists and things like that. Then people are like, you know what? No. Like, it's time for you to step into the light and get the attention. Kanye was one of the best producers before he started rapping. You gotta remember, they said when Kanye was going producing for Rockefeller at one point, he used to spin it for the Jay-Z. They used to act like they didn't know who the dude was. You know what I'm saying? Jay was just like, okay, that's cool. He said he was nonchalant, still on his phone, but the more he kept on staying within that center of attention, like I said, the people that was around him, he started gaining the influence to go ahead and break out there. So I feel like that's something that's got to be discussed as well. Like, what are you willing to do to let other people have access to the attention that you bring out?
Right, and sharing the attention is very powerful. You know what I'm saying? That's like right now, we're doing a podcast. 2 different people, 2 different personalities a lot of times. So if somebody come to me and they say, bro, your homie, man, he killing it, he funny, he this, he that, all these things, okay, cool. Another person come to me, cool. 5 more people come to me. I'd be kind of weird on the negative side of attention if I'm like, well, goddamn, ain't nobody tell me nothing about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, you have a conflict within the energy that you have even within your own shit. Because you're not looking at the fact that someone telling you that they like something that you're involved in is prosperous and succeeding and growing. You're looking at who they're giving their attention to. Now it's negative.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to have discipline, most definitely, and you have to be humble enough to know that if success is the focal point, how you get to that success and the range of attention you get should not be the main focal point, because you can't mix the two. If 30 people come to watch Juice and 5 know me, I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? The statistics and the views are still going to be the same, regardless of who you come to see more. So I think that's what fucks up a lot of groups is they're looking at the wrong shit.
Yeah.
If the main thing we started this shit to do is to be successful, then success is the focal point. How we get there is how we get there. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to learn like different strokes for different folks. Different people like different things. Not everybody that agrees with the left is going to agree with the right. We become so sensitive in our views and the attention that we getting from people that we get wrapped up in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really just have to be focused on what you want out of life and not the validation that you always get from people in the world. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of great people that still ain't shit to a lot of people.
Right.
Even though they put it down, they put in the work, it's still some people that's going to say, fuck them.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I would just say, whatever you're doing, know your reason and your purpose and stick to that shit. Regardless if you get the attention or the credit that you want for it. And I think that's another part of the conversation we can tap into is credit. Like, a lot of people get overwhelmed with getting credit for what they do, you know?
Right. I was just about to touch on different bases with that. I was going to be like, you know, you got Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. We know who the main person was, but let's like Pippen didn't contribute as well. Would have been either. But we got you had the whole thing. You had Dennis Rodman. Who you had? Man, that's a whole team. The whole team. That was a whole team. Yeah. But even though they knew Michael Jordan was a star, everybody contributed to that team being a benefactor. You have my favorite two was like, I ain't gonna lie, LeBron and Kyrie before they fell out. It was
Kyrie's fault.
It's Kyrie's fault. Hey, look, man. Look.
People just want to prove they got to do shit on their own.
Got to prove it. That's what I'm saying. Like, that was one of the things.
Right
that was
in front of you in your time period, and instead of learn from them and win with them, you want to compete against them to prove you got some shit.
See,
it's weird.
That's a beautiful example that we talk about. Like, right? If we like, this is the thing. Like, we always play about this shit. We like, nah, nigga, I'll do better without you. But we understand like where we're better at and where one of us can pick up at, right? I'm good at asking questions. X is good at answering questions. X is good at scientific methods. I can break down some shit on the examples and like financial things and struggles I've been through. It's always complementary. It's just that people feel like they need to separate themselves in order to, like I said, in order to feel glorious, right? Is like I'm saying, if you're the only one that's shining, where are the other lights when yours go out? That's another thing that people don't focus on. You so worried about making yourself shine and forgetting everything else. You gotta another thing you gotta look at is when it comes to making your team. You know, that's why I said like if you can just speak life and death, because I mean you speak life and death. That's the power of the tongue. Period. So the more you speak life, the more contributions that people are willing to do. That's why when one of the main things when people give out announcements for awards. Awards, what they say, I thank God, my mom, my team. Like, they letting them know I wouldn't be here without you. Right? But y'all get to a point where y'all just be like, nah, everything was me. And then nobody would work with you. Your whole team gonna just disperse after that. Like, all right, everything you, we gonna see. Wow. And that's why one of my favorite lines from Jay-Z say, what did he say? Somebody said, they built J, so make another, they built hole, so make another hole. So people feeling like when they have that much control, sometimes you have to separate to prove it that they don't. So, you know, you just got to find your balance when it comes to this.
All right, look, I'm a Patriots fan, man. Let's look at what Bill been going through, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a prime example of ego and shit and attention. Like, you let go the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? And then your whole coaching career has not been the same since then.
At all.
This man winning championships, you still can barely make the playoffs. So they go back to that mentality, and then they go back to Michael Jordan. When we watch the documentary, we find out that one of the owners of the team fucked shit up because he felt like he was the reason why they was winning because of the decisions they made on the office side, not the shit that the players was doing on the court. So he felt like he was bigger than the organization, so he fucked that up. So going back to the conversation,
people self-sabotage.
As much as I praise Kobe, you know what I'm saying, for a lot of shit, you have to look at it. A lot of people think, okay, Kobe accomplished this, Shaq accomplished this. They could have accomplished a lot more
together.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even great people have flaws to what we're talking about in this conversation. How well you work with others is very key and very important to your success level. A lot of times, a lot of people not going to perform at their peaks. They're not going to get the attention that they want. But even if that creates like a negative energy within you, you still have to transmutate that energy back to your success. Don't let it destroy you. Not every, you know, Muhammad Ali never won all his fights. Tyson got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Great people still take losses. So it's pretty much like, how do you come back from those situations? So, yeah, that's what I.
And one thing we got to talk about now that you mentioned that, that's one of the biggest negatives of center attention is when you let it consume you. Like, some people's lives have never been the same, right? You have Ronda Rousey. After she took that loss, her life was like, and then she still fight. She still fight?
I don't know.
I know she hasn't fight. She hasn't fight. Like what I'm saying, like when she was known as that dominant person, and you know, in the women's UFC. Boom! After that, her life shattered. Like she has not been the same. She had like one more fight after that. Then after that, never had another again. Right. And then that's what I'm saying. If you're used to having so much stuff on Spotlight, then you start doing stupid shit for it, right? You got to remember Boot Gang. Boot Gang was going around running off on people watches and money and stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then he turned his life around later on. He's like, bro, I just realized I was doing a lot of crash shit for attention. Yeah, I gotta remember this man was recording himself like robbing people and stealing and running off. So, as I say, if you get consumed by attention, you'll start doing anything for attention, right? You got celebrities creating fake kidnappings and shit, you know. Like I said, it's crazy what the lengths people will go to get some more of that attention in that spotlight. You know, might start being a little bit more revealing, might start being a little sexual. Somebody might start letting passes happen, you know, if it can gravitate them getting attention, right? When I say like, you know, certain things that people are willing to do, you gotta look at some people who like, man, I ain't been in the spotlight in a minute, and somebody like, shit, what you willing to do for it? You know what I'm saying? You it's always a pitch if they know you are consumed with attention. They got you. It's not hard to tell, like, when people fall off, some people can understand that. Some people cannot. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest, like, they was talking about Bow Wow not too long ago. And they was like, yeah, Bow Wow fell off years ago. I was like, shoot, Bow Wow been living his life. I was like, I ain't never really heard of him trying to make a comeback or anything like that. But this man still gets shitted on so much because they keep saying, like, he's trying to do everything with his. I'm like, that dude, he's, like, pretty much when he went to the Fast and Furious route, that dude was just gonna get paid for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? You can also look at Ludacris too. Ludacris, when he started doing movies, he started pulling out in different directions, right? You can move your center of attention to different avenues and streams. That's the main thing that you want to do, is be able to see your light going different places. Can it still shine as much as it once did in another area? That's when you know if you have to work harder, or you really just got to go back to what you used to.
Right. Something I wanted to point out in the conversation is how sometimes people can misjudge you and think that you're seeking attention by your actions when really you're just being who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to be mindful of that as well. You have some people that go to the gym and work out. You feel me? Men and women. But then they wear clothes a little tight. You know what I'm saying?
Tight ass clothes.
It's always going to be somebody that say, look at that person trying to show out.
Trying to show off.
You know what I'm saying? But it really could be like, look, that person could have put in the work. This could mean something else to them. You know what I'm saying? They could be trying to express a lot of different things, but sometimes since people crave attention so much, just because you attract more than them, they'll try to make it seem like you're on the same thought patterns that they are.
Whew. Talk to them.
That's not your intent.
Yeah.
Just because you look a certain way, carry yourself a certain way, it don't mean that you're thirsty, like a lot of people are.
Right.
So I would say take that into mind as well. Be comfortable within your own skin. Not everybody is going to understand why you dress the way you dress, why you carry yourself the way you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? We look at it on the flip side, like if you see a man that look fairly decent and you see him talking to a group of women, some people will automatically assume like this is a very out of control man. He's promiscuous. He's trying to do this. He's trying to do that.
He's a trick.
You know what I'm saying?
He a trick. He a trick.
And then, really, what if he was just giving them directions?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what if he was just telling them?
Hey, look, you might want to go down the street right there.
So some people,
he could have been taking their order.
some people misjudge people, man. Like just because people carry a certain attraction and appearance, it don't mean that they always craving attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Some things are just more natural than anything. That's another thing. Some people are just natural at what they do, and just how we was just talking about, even clothes, appearance, and stuff of that nature. Like people always be like, "Oh, look, you stepping out. You gotta like." Hey, I dress like this all the time.
Right.
Oh, look at you. You would yeah. This is how my body looks. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You got something new. I bought this 2 years
ago, man. I'm just not putting that. Yeah. You're like, I nigga, why y'all got something to say? Yeah. Like it can go. It goes crazy when I say when it comes to the attention. I feel like we touch a lot of bases when it comes to center of attention, but you gotta remember, like people want to center attention in your family, right? It's always that person that might come over, like, oh shit, here he come. Uncle Juba, yeah, man, you know I'm here, man.
Somebody got to
be the loudest person there. Somebody look. Like somebody got to be the loudest. Somebody got to let everybody know they got a new car. They got a better job. They made more money there.
Right.
Everybody.
Conversation. Well, today at the job, they asked you, how was you doing? How was your day? You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen you in a long time. Well, at work, I got a new position.
I'm at work right now. Well, shit, I'm at work too. Don't mean you can't talk to nobody. Like I said, with family, bro, like, you know who the person that needs attention within that family, right? Just like, when we talk about when it came to clothes and appearance. Some people are like, okay, it's a family event where it's so simple. Then you always have that one person that they overdressed and shit. You got to wear the Gucci, the Burberry and shit. And you know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. But what you got to remember is what you put your attention to is what you judge to at the same time. You can always judge based on what you see. That's what the eyes are. And people be like, yeah, people shouldn't judge. Like, it's natural. It's natural for human beings to judge. It's just that, what do you want them to judge you on when you finally get the attention? You know what I'm saying? That's why we talk about reinventing yourself. I'm saying I'm in a mind state since that episode. I'm reinvented and about to relaunch myself next year, right? So just remember, even with that reinvention and relaunching yourself, the type of attention that you're trying to create, you can manifest. So that's the power of reinvention itself when it comes to attention.
Right. And my last point that I would leave off on is be careful who you compete with. Because sometimes the complementary side can be so strong that can be stronger than the competition within itself.
Oh.
And let's look at something like the Nation of Islam, so to speak.
Okay.
We had Malcolm X that came up, very powerful, and then a beef was created between him and Elijah Muhammad that was primarily based over attention, right?
Right.
So when the dust settled,
Oh God, that was, bro. I just remember that.
Yeah, so when the dust settled, you feel me? You have to realize Minister Louis Farrakhan was not the ideal person that would be where they are now over Malcolm X because they existed within the same time period. So sometimes you just gotta look at the way shit works. Now, Minister Louis Farrakhan is at the highest position.
Right.
So a lot of times we become so overwhelmed and attention that we should be getting, we forget that even though you still might want a lot of attention, you still have to put in the work to get the attention. So let's just say Farrakhan just said, look, Malcolm got me beat, he's way more this, way more that, I'm not gonna read and study, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna further my education. No, because you really don't know what position you may end up in or what you might work for. So you have to continuously work and increase your knowledge, information, and your value. That's my last point on that.
That was a beautiful point. And I like when they said like when Malcolm started getting more speaking joints, he was like, no, we weren't here for Malcolm. That was some stuff that was created right there within that organization. It went from you remember it was one organization and that to separate and make and Malcolm had to make his own group outside of it, and everything that you did for that group and organization was then cut off. And whew, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes being set attention for depending on who you with, like it comes with consequences. You know, shout out to Brother Malcolm.
And no disrespect to nobody in the nation. Those are just my analogies that I got. You know what I'm saying, outside looking in.
Definitely
disclaimers. But yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, Talking That Talk Official Podcast. That's YouTube, IG, and Facebook.
Yes.
And we out.
So live, about to go recap.
Recaps are no ordinary brother.
Thought that I want to make it, but I